G'day everybody, welcome back. In case you haven't figured it out in the brief short look at me go, we're going to repaint the lathe. Word of warning, I'm probably only going to paint the visible surfaces and clean up the visible surfaces, and I'm going to paint it by hand, and it's going to be black. So for all you powder blue loving Prius folks out there, or white lathes, I have a very small shed and it gets very dirty and I don't want white. So anyway, let's have a look at what we're going to do. So my plan is to do the base. So that's the door, which doesn't have any embossed engraving on, and the tailstock end, and this is obviously the pedestal with its honeycomb on the inside. Now I'm going to degrease these first and give them a wash and try and get rid of the honeycomb with the hose. And hang on, there's probably a few people going, oh, why is it up so high? Oh, why is it outside? Oh, because that's all the space I've got and I don't want the dogs putting their fur in the paint. So this is our workspace, and the plan is to do the base, paint the base, clean the base, and then ignore the mess. All right, there's some significant life changes going on in this shed. So my plan is to put the lathe here facing the door, because that will mean that the machining, cleaning, welding-y, making-y thing stuff is this side of the shed, and that will leave that side of the shed free. Now, why am I putting it here? Well, one, I've got a step, and two, the motor, motor, it's electric. The motor sticks out the back, and the only place I can minimise the influence of that lost space is here in this corner. So this set of shelves is going to go somewhere over there, and then the lathe pedestal will come here, and you'll work facing the door. Now, that's plan A. Obviously, the first thing I'm going to do is clean this table up, and then clean these two tables up, and then do some stuff with this and some stuff with that, and I've still got to paint this wall. And what happens from there? Well, the power hacksaw, when we fix that, will fit underneath, or it will fit on the end, or it will fit in the corner. The bench grinder, which is over there, I can put up against that post. There will be a door here that goes that way. And then I'm thinking about putting this set of shelves and that set of shelves so I can get to both sides around the ends and leave. Anyway, we still need to insulate and do some lights, and you know, like I said, life changes. And then all the small engine stuff is going to go in the shed out the back. And then along the way, we've also got to clean this up. And in other news, we're fairly confident we've identified that this is a Smith, Barker and Willson lathe made around the mid-early 1900s to 1910s. A big thanks to Iron Jonesy, who I'll try and link somewhere in here or up here in this corner or down. Please, if you're not watching Iron Jonesy, do yourself a favour, get a set of red overalls, a flat hat and an awesome beard, and go and subscribe to his channel, because the dude's a legend, because he helped with this and he was right. So also a big thank to Pan's Steam Museum in Tasmania. They have one of these as well. They got some photos and sent it to us, and I'll link him down here through whatever social media he's got, which I think is Instagram and Facebook. There you go. So it's 120 years old and it's filthy, so let's give it a bath. So apparently this stuff is strongly alkaline, so you shouldn't drink it or get it in your eyes. But we'll slap it on real thick and heavy. Might even do 2 yet. But you're supposed to leave it 5 to 10 minutes and then hose it off. So we'll give it one coat, we'll leave it half hour or so. Then we'll give it another coat, we'll leave it 5 minutes or so. And then we'll see what happens from there. Like I said, I'm not getting hugely worried about the the beehive honeycomb on the inside just yet. I'll worry about that when I need to, which isn't right now. Good stuff though, smells good. Smells like, I don't know, something that's good for taking grease and shit off. Anyway, I'll get this done and we'll come back and have a look. So, one coat of degreaser and drying. I did scrape a little bit of the thicker stuff off. It's been on about 25 minutes. And yes, it's cleaner, but no, it's not clean enough to paint. I am going to wire brush it off. And what's really starting to stand out is that this thing has had what you call a rough life. I'm also cleaning up the door hinges because I suspect I'm going to paint the door, put it on, then take the door off with the hinges on the frame and then paint it. But yeah, anyway, we'll give it another coat and then we'll give it a hose off. Righto, big mess made, but we have had a couple of small victories. One, the paint is coming off reasonably easily now, whether that just means it's rusty or what. And we found a, pardon me, the first manufacturing mark or a mark of some sort. If, remembering this is upside down, if made by Fred on a Friday in a factory, or obviously something else that I don't know about yet, this is going to dry in the sun fairly quick. I'm going to go to the paddock and do some tractoring and let it really dry. And then we're going to come back and we're going to attack a door with a wire wheel and see what happens. I didn't think I was going to be able to get the handle off, but after cleaning the mud away, I may actually be able to get that off. But I need to get the heat, the blowtorch to try and get this pin out and to get the pin out of that other one. Because, you know, if we're going to do it, let's just do it. So, we're underway. See you a bit later. Okay, so the paint is coming off. It's pretty obvious that this is, you know, a rough machine. Got the knob off, pretty happy with that. Still have to do a little bit of cleaning up. And you can see here, this isn't a show machine. This is just a working machine. So apart from a wipe off, I'm pretty happy with them. The door, got to get a different wire wheel in to get this groove clean around the outside, and there's still a bit of schmuzzo on the front in the corners, and funnily enough, no manufacturing marks. But give this another clean up and a wipe off. I mean, it's filthy shit. That will be ready for paint. So that just leaves these two. Now, I'm not going to video the whole cleany thing. It's just disgusting and dirty and takes hours. So I'll just smash in and we'll see how far we get in an hour. So that's about 10 minutes with that particularly savage wire wheel. And there are lots of, let's call them casting marks, or whether they're welding marks, I don't know. But it's just going to add to the character when I paint it with a brush. There's a lot to go. there's a lot to do. Still got to do that piece there. So I'll hook in for a bit longer and then it might be lunchtime and do some other stuff. So about half an hour later, I'm pretty comfortable with what we found. I'm only going to give the inside just a quick once over and make sure there's nothing loose there. I am going to give these another go over. I need to do that bit soon. But you can tell looking at it that this was not perfection. Right? Whether it's cast or welded, I don't know, but it's got uneven edges, bumps and lumps, and the machine surfaces are the only bits that have really had much love. So there you go. All right, I got that bit to go, and then all these bits are ready, bar another clean. I reckon it might be time for some paint. So see if we can find a way to make them all stand up. Looking good, nearly there. Okay, cleaning parts 1 done. Still need to spot check the door, mechanism, pins, all good. Inside, as it stands, will get painted like this with my F for Freddy on the factory on a Friday. I do need to just give that another quick touch up, obviously. And then the pedestal, it's like there's a rubberized paint on the back, so I'm going to give it another go a bit later on. It's too windy to paint, so I'm going to go do something else and then come back, give it a second look, and then it's painting time. It ain't pretty. There's lots of dings and dents and holes, and I'm not really sure if this was a prototype or they just couldn't be bothered. Pretty sure there's a crack repair here or a big slaggy dag. Again, I'll give that another coat, another hit with a grinder. Wire wheel wise, yeah, we've lost a little bit, but not much. It does ping them out pretty quick, so safety glasses are essential. So there you go, back soon. So late in the day, this is day number 2. Got it all cleaned up and wiped off and got the first coat of undercoat on. Just using the old Dulux job. Pretty happy. It is, I think, picking up some of the old paint tin. Oh, I got to run there, hang on. Nasty old run. And I am going to do a second coat of undercoat. It is coming up pretty good. Got all the hardware done. So I'll come back tomorrow and bang another coat on and maybe get some black on tomorrow night. See how we go. Here we are, morning of day 3, second undercoat on the pedestal base, the leg end and all the hardware, which is, it's coming up right, it's drying really quick today. It's a warm day and they've been in the sun, and I completely forgot about the door, but that's all right. That'll be a good comparison between 1 coat of primer and 2 coats. It's all right, but the thing I don't think you'll realise, and it's really hard to show on camera, is just how uneven this surface is. It's definitely not, machine grade finish, but it's starting to look the goods. So we'll come back this and put the first coat of black on and see how it goes. Righto, welcome back. It's the afternoon, it's warm and it's hot, and we're into the black. So I've put a matte black. This is only coat number 1, all right? So just bear with it. There are a few brush marks, they're not too bad. But overall, and it's still drying, by the way, including that bit, which has got to run. But that'll be hidden behind a hinge. So it's not a perfect paint job, but it's not a perfect piece. It's quite rough. The paint is helping take a bit out of it, and overall, I'd have to say, I'm reasonably impressed at coat 1. And yes, I remembered to do the door this time. Although, it's also got a dirty, great big snotty run in it. So, there you go. And that's where we're going to leave it, because I'm going away for another week, and if I do get a second coat on this, it'll be towards dark tonight. So I'm going to wrap the video up and call this one, I don't know, episode 153,000 of one, with us close to having the pedestal finished. The door's there, it needs a second coat. Do I like the matte black? Don't know, I'll tell you in a week when I get back. At this stage, yes I do. So, and while it's away, we're going to do another vinegar trial. So that's the lathe bed there. That'll be the next one out for cleanup. And then this is my 4-jaw chuck that came with the with the lathe, and it is absolutely disgustingly stuck. There is no movement at all in anything. It's like it's been left in the rain. So we're going to dunk that in vinegar for a week and see if it at least lets me get it apart and see what the damage is on the inside. I can't see me ever using a 4-jaw chuck a lot, but this is a really good bit to have a go with. So yeah, see you next time. I think I'm going to have to go get some more. Because I've only got 2 left and we're not even a third of the way up. Anyway, see you next time.